Every morning is not just the beginning of a new day, it is the opportunity to reconnect with yourself. Before you reach for your phone, before the noise of the outside world begins to pull you into obligations, meetings, or the expectations of others, there is a quiet moment that belongs only to you. In that silence, you have the chance to align with your inner self. This alignment is not about rushing or doing, it is about being. It is the gentle recognition that who you are in this present moment is enough. Before you speak to the world, before you act or respond, let your first words be for yourself, soft yet intentional, grounding you in your own presence. Inner alignment is the practice of beginning your day consciously, deliberately, and with awareness. It is the act of checking in with your soul, asking, who am I today, and how do I want to move through this day? Too often, mornings are consumed by distraction, by habits that are automatic, by the pull of obligations that exist outside of us. Coffee becomes the trigger, the news becomes the first voice we hear, notifications dictate our attention before we even stand fully in our own reality. But alignment is the pause before the rush. It is the breath you take before responding. It is the acknowledgement that you are more than the tasks, more than the deadlines, more than the opinions or judgments of others. When you start with inner alignment, you set the tone for everything that follows. The body, the mind, and the heart begin to move as one. Thoughts do not scatter uncontrollably. Emotions are not tossed by external circumstances. You begin to embody a presence that is steady even in chaos. This alignment is cultivated by self-awareness. When you wake up, take a moment to feel your own energy. Are you carrying tension in your shoulders, a tightness in your chest, a heaviness in your heart? Are your thoughts already spinning into the worries of yesterday or the pressures of tomorrow? Acknowledging these states without judgment is the first step toward alignment. Notice them, name them, breathe into them. Let the awareness itself be a kind of anchor. Words are a powerful tool for alignment. What you tell yourself in the first moments of your day becomes the filter through which you experience the hours ahead. If your first thoughts are criticism, comparison, or fear, they will shape your perception of everything else. If your first words are affirmations of presence, worth, and intention, your reality begins from a place of empowerment. Speak to yourself with the same kindness and authority you would offer a person you deeply care for. Remind yourself that you are capable, that your presence matters, that you are allowed to move through this day with both strength and softness. Alignment is not about forcing positivity, it is about truth. It is about speaking to the reality of your potential and acknowledging the reality of your humanity simultaneously. Movement and breath also anchor inner alignment. When you rise, allow the body to stretch, to awaken gradually. Notice the sensations as you move your limbs, the warmth of blood flowing through veins, the rise and fall of your chest with each breath. Each small motion is a reminder that your body is alive, that it is a vessel carrying the soul that you are learning to center. Breath, in particular, is a direct pathway to alignment. Inhale deeply, feeling the air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing tension, releasing expectation, releasing resistance. Let your breathing be a rhythm that reminds you that you are here, present, and capable of steering the day rather than being carried by it. The mind, once calmed, becomes a tool rather than a master. Alignment involves noticing the thoughts that emerge, gently letting go of those that do not serve you, and focusing on the intentions you wish to hold. Ask yourself, what kind of energy do I want to carry today? What quality of presence do I want to offer to others and to myself? Inner alignment is the process of making choices from this space rather than from reaction. It is about listening to the quiet guidance that comes when the mind is not cluttered, when the body is not tense, when the heart is open. The clarity that arises from this practice is subtle yet profound. Alignment is also about honoring your emotions. Some mornings, you may wake heavy with grief, anxiety, or frustration. Alignment does not demand that you pretend to feel otherwise. It asks only that you acknowledge your current state without letting it dictate your entire day. Say to yourself, I see you. I honor you. You are part of my journey today. But you do not define all of today. This kind of self-compassion grounds you in reality while opening the possibility for transformation. By allowing yourself to feel fully and deeply, you create an inner environment where authenticity thrives. When alignment becomes habitual, the mornings themselves begin to hold power. You no longer start the day as a passive participant, reacting to whatever comes your way. You start as a conscious being, a presence capable of directing attention, shaping perception, and carrying intention. The world may still pull at you with its noise and urgency, but the anchor of inner alignment allows you to respond rather than react, to create rather than merely exist. The practice is cumulative. Each morning that begins with conscious alignment strengthens your ability to live in your own truth, to act with clarity, and to navigate the world from a grounded place within. Every morning there is a choice. You can rise and allow the outside world to determine your energy, or you can rise and meet yourself first. Inner alignment asks you to meet yourself first, to recognize your worth, your presence, and your capacity to shape the day ahead. It is a practice of remembering that the most important relationship you have is with yourself, that the words you speak to yourself are the foundation upon which your day and ultimately your life is built. In alignment there is power. In alignment there is peace. In alignment there is clarity. The morning is a mirror of the soul, and when you start aligned, the reflection you see is not one of obligation or fear, but one of truth and possibility. You may take a few minutes, or a few breaths, or simply a silent intention, but what matters is the quality of attention you bring to yourself. Align with your core. Align with your heart. Align with your purpose. Let the day be born from this alignment rather than from distraction, duty, or noise. Let your first words be intentional. Let your first breath be conscious. Let your first thoughts be a statement of your inner strength. This is the essence of starting with inner alignment, and when you commit to it, the world feels different, lighter, and more in rhythm with the person you are becoming. Every morning offers a sacred opportunity, the chance to speak to yourself in a way that honors your existence, your journey, and your potential. Before the day begins, before the tasks, obligations, and expectations pull at your attention, remind yourself of this simple truth: you are inherently worthy. Your worth is not something earned by achievement, approval, or recognition. It is the essence of who you are here and now. It does not fluctuate with circumstance or opinion. It does not shrink because of failure or expand only in moments of success. To affirm your worth is to acknowledge that you are enough simply because you exist, and that existence alone carries value, beauty, and potential. Affirming your worth begins with noticing the habitual narratives you tell yourself. Often, we unconsciously measure our value against outcomes, external validation, or comparison with others. The mind whispers, "I am not enough," or "I should have done better," or "they are doing more than me." These thoughts can be persistent, subtle, or even disguised as motivation. Yet worth is not conditional. It is a constant, unchanging foundation within you. Every morning, affirming your worth is an act of reclaiming this truth. Speak to yourself. I am enough. I am worthy. My life has meaning simply because I live it. These words are not empty. They are the seeds of self-respect and resilience. Equally important is affirming your purpose. Worth reminds you that you matter. Purpose reminds you that your life is not accidental. Each person carries a unique essence, a set of gifts, experiences, and perspectives that the world cannot replicate. Even in moments of doubt or uncertainty, your presence has significance. Your actions, no matter how small, ripple outward, influencing others, shaping experiences, and leaving impressions that extend beyond immediate perception. Purpose is not necessarily a grand mission or a monumental achievement. It is the daily expression of your being in ways that align with your values, passions, and truth. To affirm your purpose is to tell yourself, I am here for a reason. My life matters. My choices and actions are meaningful. Words spoken with conviction hold power. When you affirm your worth and purpose aloud each morning, the vibration of your voice reinforces your internal belief. The mind begins to accept what the heart already knows, and the body responds in alignment. Shoulders lift, posture straightens, and energy shifts. You carry yourself differently because you are consciously recognizing the value within you. This alignment is a declaration to the world and to yourself. You do not wait for others to validate you. You acknowledge your inherent significance. Over time, these affirmations become embedded in your consciousness, forming a foundation of confidence and resilience that no circumstance can easily shake. Affirming your worth and purpose is also an act of courage. It asks you to confront the internal voices of doubt, fear, and criticism that may have accumulated over years of living in reactive patterns. It requires you to look at yourself honestly, to see both strengths and weaknesses without judgment, and to assert that despite imperfections, you remain complete. Worth is not perfection and purpose is not certainty. They are recognition of your present power and potential. Each morning, when you make the deliberate choice to affirm these truths, you are practicing self-compassion and self-honoring simultaneously. Moreover, affirming your worth allows you to navigate relationships and challenges with clarity. When you truly recognize your value, you no longer seek validation from others to feel complete. You can engage with the world from a place of contribution rather than neediness, from a place of choice rather than desperation. Similarly, affirming purpose gives direction to your actions. When uncertainty arises or the path seems unclear, your inner compass, grounded in your sense of meaning, guides you toward decisions that resonate with your deepest truth. You begin to understand that setbacks are not reflections of inadequacy, but opportunities to realign with your intention and strengthen your resolve. The practice of daily affirmation is also deeply grounding. In a world that often emphasizes external measures of success, money, status, beauty, influence, reminding yourself of intrinsic worth and purpose anchors you to your internal truth. It creates a refuge, a place where no outside opinion can diminish your sense of self. Each morning, speak to yourself with kindness, clarity, and authority. I am worthy of love, respect, and happiness. I am capable of growth, change, and impact. My life has meaning, and my actions carry significance. These are not aspirational statements. They are reminders of what already exists within you. Affirming worth and purpose is inseparable from alignment with values. Worth is personal, but purpose often expresses itself through how you live and interact in the world. When you consciously affirm both, you strengthen the connection between inner belief and outer action. Small choices, how you speak, how you respond, how you dedicate your energy, begin to reflect the truth of your affirmations. You act from alignment, not obligation, from clarity, not confusion, from intention, not habit. There is a subtle power in this practice. The world responds to the energy you carry. When you step into your day, knowing your worth and clarity of purpose, interactions, opportunities, and circumstances naturally resonate with the vibration you hold. Daily affirmation is not a one-time event, but a lifelong practice. Worth may be challenged, purpose may feel obscured, and the world may tempt you into self-doubt. Yet by returning each morning to the simple, deliberate act of reminding yourself of who you are and why you are here, you cultivate an inner strength that becomes unshakable over time. These affirmations, repeated consistently, transform perception from the inside out. You begin to see yourself through eyes of compassion, respect, and reverence. You recognize that your presence matters, that your contributions are meaningful, and that your journey is valuable. In a world that constantly demands more, urges faster results, and celebrates flawless appearances, the human mind often becomes trapped in an endless cycle of comparison, expectation, and self-criticism. We are conditioned to measure our worth by accomplishments, by how closely we meet external standards, and by the approval of others. Yet perfection is an illusion, a shifting target that moves as quickly as we try to reach it. Focusing on presence instead of perfection is the subtle yet profound practice of returning to what truly matters, the lived experience of this moment, the conscious awareness of being alive, and the deep connection with yourself and the world around you. Presence is the gentle refusal to let the mind dominate your reality with shoulds and musts. It is a practice of noticing what is here, right now, without judgment. When you wake in the morning, before rushing into tasks or measuring yourself against yesterday's standards, take a moment to simply be. Feel your breath entering and leaving your body. Notice the sensations in your limbs, the rise and fall of your chest, the subtle heartbeat that anchors your life. In these small conscious acts, you cultivate presence, a grounding force that allows you to engage with life fully, without being weighed down by imagined failures or the pursuit of impossible ideals. Perfection is seductive because it promises safety. If we are perfect, we imagine we will be accepted, admired, or loved. Yet perfection is also a prison. It asks for endless effort, endless scrutiny, endless self-denial. It takes attention away from the richness of experience, from the depth of feeling, and from the beauty of imperfection, which is where life's authenticity resides. By focusing on presence, you liberate yourself from the tyranny of comparison and expectation. You acknowledge that you are enough in this moment, just as you are. The world may not recognize it, Others may not applaud it, but your inner awareness validates it. You are alive. You are here. That alone is worthy of attention, reverence, and celebration. Presence requires conscious observation. When you act from presence, you are aware of each thought, each emotion, each gesture. You notice when your mind begins to wander into judgment, critique, or anxiety, and gently bring it back to the immediacy of experience. If a thought arises, you see it, acknowledge it, and allow it to pass without letting it dominate your attention. This mindfulness is not passive, it is active engagement with life as it unfolds. The ordinary becomes extraordinary when attention is fully given. A cup of tea, a morning stretch, a quiet breath, these seemingly simple acts are transformed when presence is applied because they are no longer rushed or mechanical, but infused with conscious awareness. Perfection, on the other hand, blinds us to the richness of imperfection. It tells us to correct, polish, and compare endlessly, creating dissatisfaction even in moments of success. By chasing perfection, you often miss the subtle lessons, the gentle growth, and the natural beauty of what is unfolding. Presence allows you to meet life where it is, rather than constantly trying to mold it into what you think it should be. In relationships, presence creates connection because others feel your attentiveness. In work, presence creates clarity because your mind is focused, not scattered. In moments of solitude, presence creates peace because you are fully with yourself rather than trapped in judgment or expectation. Practicing presence over perfection also cultivates self-compassion. When you are fully present, you acknowledge your humanity, your limitations, and your mistakes without harsh self-criticism. You see errors as information, as opportunities for growth, not as evidence of inadequacy. You stop measuring your value against impossible ideals and start appreciating the unique qualities that only you bring into existence. Each choice, each breath, each movement becomes meaningful because it is enacted from awareness, not from fear of judgment or failure. This kind of self-compassion is liberating. It allows you to engage with life authentically without the weight of constant striving. Presence is also about receptivity. When the mind is focused on perfection, it tends to block life's subtle gifts. Opportunities, insights, and moments of connection pass unnoticed because attention is consumed by critique or expectation. By focusing on presence, you open yourself to the world fully. You hear more, see more, and feel more. A conversation is richer, a task is more enjoyable, a morning walk is more alive. Presence transforms ordinary experiences into deeply fulfilling ones because it honors the reality of the moment instead of chasing a fabricated ideal. In cultivating presence, it is helpful to start with small rituals each morning. A few minutes of conscious breathing, a gentle affirmation, or simply noticing the environment as you awaken can anchor your awareness. Let go of the need to be perfect in your practice. You may get distracted, your mind may wander, your body may resist, but each return to awareness strengthens the habit of presence. It is not the absence of distraction that matters, but the commitment to keep coming back to the moment. Over time, this practice ripples outward, influencing the way you experience work, relationships, creativity, and personal growth. Presence over perfection transforms perspective. Instead of asking, am I doing enough? Am I good enough? Am I perfect enough? You begin to ask, am I here? Am I noticing? Am I fully engaged in what is happening? The shift is subtle but profound. Life is no longer a checklist of achievements or a series of comparisons. It becomes a rich, textured experience filled with awareness, gratitude, and depth. Each moment is an opportunity to engage fully, to act with clarity, to connect with others authentically, and to live without the constant burden of trying to measure up. Focusing on presence also fosters resilience. When challenges arise, perfection urges you to control, fix, or avoid discomfort. Presence, however, allows you to meet difficulty with calm observation. You notice the sensations of fear, the thoughts of doubt, the emotions of frustration, and yet you do not become enslaved by them. Presence offers clarity and steadiness, while perfection often leads to panic, anxiety, or avoidance. By grounding yourself in the now, you respond rather than react, choose rather than be controlled, and navigate uncertainty with composure. Ultimately, focusing on presence over perfection is a practice of freedom. It releases the mind from endless cycles of comparison, expectation, and self-criticism. It brings attention back to the only reality that truly exists: this moment, this breath, this experience. In presence, you recognize the beauty of imperfection, the power of authenticity, and the profound significance of simply being alive. Each morning as you awaken, you have the chance to choose presence. You can allow yourself to be fully here, fully awake, fully aware, and fully alive, and in that choice, the day itself becomes a reflection of conscious living, a canvas upon which you can paint with clarity, intention, and heart. Life presents challenges to every individual, not as punishments, but as invitations, subtle, persistent, and sometimes overwhelming invitations to grow, to awaken, and to realize capacities within ourselves we never imagined existed. From the moment we are born, we encounter resistance in countless forms, obstacles that seem insurmountable, relationships that test our patience, situations that stretch our understanding of endurance, and emotions that threaten to overwhelm us. How we respond to these experiences determines not only the trajectory of our day, but the evolution of our character. To transform challenges into opportunities is to shift perspective, to recognize that difficulty is not a blockade, but a door, and that every trial carries within it the seed of growth, insight, and empowerment. Challenges often arrive disguised as discomfort. They appear as frustration, delay, failure, or disappointment. The initial reaction of the mind is to resist, to fight, to label them as undesirable. Yet resistance only magnifies suffering. True transformation begins with awareness, noticing the challenge, feeling its weight, and choosing to engage with it consciously rather than reactively. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" one can ask, "What is this teaching me?" What hidden opportunity lies within this difficulty? This shift in questioning changes the energy of experience from defeat to curiosity, from victimhood to empowerment. It invites the possibility that even the hardest moments contain lessons vital for growth. Every challenge holds a mirror, reflecting aspects of ourselves that may otherwise remain hidden. When difficulties arise, they illuminate patterns of thought, behavior, and emotion that limit our potential. Perhaps we discover impatience where patience is required, fear where courage is needed, or attachment where flexibility is necessary. By recognizing these patterns, we gain the chance to evolve. A challenge is not merely an external obstacle. It is a reflection of the internal work that awaits. When approached with this mindset, adversity becomes a teacher rather than a tormentor, and each struggle carries the potential to deepen self-awareness, refine character, and strengthen resilience. Opportunities often hide in plain sight within our challenges. A professional setback, for example, may feel devastating at first, yet it may redirect attention toward a path more aligned with your purpose, a path you might never have considered if success had arrived easily. A strained relationship may reveal the need for honest communication, self-respect, or boundaries that ultimately strengthen connection. Even physical or emotional pain, when acknowledged and worked with consciously, can lead to deeper understanding, empathy, and wisdom. Transformation occurs when we choose to look beyond the surface discomfort and seek the underlying possibility for growth, learning, and self-discovery. Perspective is the key to this transformation. Life does not inherently present events as good or bad. It is the lens of the observer that assigns meaning. A challenge is only as insurmountable as the mind perceives it to be. By cultivating a perspective rooted in opportunity rather than limitation, the seemingly impossible becomes manageable. When a situation pushes the boundaries of your comfort, you are being called to expand, not to collapse. Each obstacle, therefore, is a call to rise, a summons to bring forth strength, creativity, patience, and insight that reside within you. In this light, every difficulty becomes a platform from which growth can be launched, a crucible in which resilience is forged, and a doorway to undiscovered potential. Challenges also cultivate adaptability. Life rarely unfolds according to plan, and rigidity in thought or expectation only amplifies struggle. By embracing challenges as opportunities, you train the mind and heart to adjust, to navigate uncertainty with grace, and to find solutions where rigidity would fail. Adaptability is not passive acquiescence. It is an active engagement with reality as it is, rather than how we wish it to be. The capacity to pivot, to shift perspective, and to act from clarity rather than panic becomes a skill, honed over time through conscious engagement with adversity. This skill carries over into all aspects of life, from relationships to work to personal growth, creating a foundation of resilience and effectiveness. Resilience, however, is not cultivated solely by overcoming challenges. It is cultivated by approaching them with intention and presence. When a difficulty arises, there is often a choice to react with frustration, fear, or resistance, or to respond with awareness, curiosity, and intentionality. Response requires conscious attention, a moment of pause in which the mind asks, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow? How can I transform this experience into a step forward rather than a setback?" These small, deliberate responses accumulate over time, transforming the very nature of how challenges are experienced. What once seemed insurmountable becomes manageable, and what once triggered despair becomes an opportunity for growth and empowerment. Transforming challenges into opportunities also requires trust in oneself, in the process of life, and in the unfolding of events. It asks for patience, for the willingness to sit with discomfort, and for faith that clarity will emerge even when it is not immediately visible. Trust does not mean passivity. It means acting with integrity and presence while allowing the broader picture to reveal itself over time. Often, the significance of a challenge is only understood in retrospect, when reflection reveals the lessons learned, the strength gained, and the opportunities uncovered. By holding faith in this unfolding, one can navigate difficulties without being consumed by fear or regret. Daily practice strengthens this approach. Each morning, reminding yourself that challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities sets the tone for how the day will unfold. The first thought of the day can be one of empowerment, that difficulties are invitations to expand, that resistance is unnecessary, and that every moment, no matter how challenging, carries a seed of potential. When this perspective is repeated consistently, it becomes a habitual lens, transforming not just individual events, but the overall experience of life. Challenges no longer provoke panic or avoidance. They become moments to engage deeply with self, circumstance, and growth. By transforming challenges into opportunities, the world itself begins to feel less hostile and more cooperative. Life ceases to be a series of trials to survive and becomes a landscape of experiences to navigate consciously, to learn from, and to contribute through. Each problem solved, each difficulty met with presence and creativity, becomes a testament to human resilience and a reminder of the power that resides within. The energy shifts from resistance to engagement, from fear to curiosity, from despair to empowerment. In this way, challenges, rather than being burdens, become gateways to wisdom, strength, insight, and a deeper connection with life itself. Gratitude is not a fleeting emotion or a polite acknowledgement of life's blessings. It is a state of being, a way of seeing, a lens through which existence itself is transformed. To embody gratitude is to cultivate a consciousness that notices the extraordinary within the ordinary, the sacred within the mundane, and the abundance that already exists even in moments of apparent scarcity. It is a practice that begins the moment you awaken, the instant your eyes open to the morning light, and it shapes the way every thought, word, and action flows throughout the day. When gratitude is truly embodied, it is no longer something you do, it becomes who you are, radiating outward and coloring your experience with richness, warmth, and connection. To begin the practice of embodiment, you must first cultivate awareness. Life has a way of moving quickly, and in the rush, it is easy to overlook the countless gifts that surround you. The breath in your lungs, the beating of your heart, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the simple pleasure of waking to a new day, these are not trivial details. They are profound reminders that existence itself is a gift. Embodying gratitude requires that you pause long enough to notice these gifts, to honor them fully, and to feel their resonance in your body and mind. Each moment of acknowledgement deepens the connection between your awareness and the abundance that permeates your life. Abundance is not merely financial or material. It is a recognition that life offers more than scarcity, lack, or limitation. True abundance is felt in the heart before it is seen in the world. It is the understanding that opportunities, experiences, relationships, and growth are plentiful, and that your participation in life is not bound by fear, comparison, or deficit. When gratitude and abundance are embodied, you begin to perceive that even in moments of challenge, there is richness to be discovered. The absence of one thing does not negate the presence of countless other things. Each breath, each experience, each connection carries the potential for nourishment, inspiration, and fulfillment. Embodiment is a holistic practice. It is not enough to think about gratitude intellectually. It must be felt in the body, affirmed in words, and expressed through actions. Let your heart swell with appreciation for the life that moves through you. Speak aloud the blessings you recognize, whether silently in meditation or vocally as an affirmation to yourself. I am grateful for this day. I am grateful for the people, the experiences, and the lessons that surround me. I am grateful for the abundance that already exists in my life. The voice carries the energy of acknowledgement and solidifies it within your consciousness. Physical gestures, such as placing a hand over your heart or bowing your head in quiet reverence, further anchor gratitude as a lived experience, not merely an abstract idea. Embodied gratitude transforms perception. When the heart is open to the richness of life, the mind begins to notice opportunities, connections, and blessings that were previously overlooked. What once appeared ordinary becomes extraordinary. A simple meal, a friendly conversation, a walk in nature, all become reflections of abundance. This practice rewires the habitual focus on lack and scarcity, shifting attention toward what is present, available, and possible. Over time, the perception of abundance itself grows stronger, creating a feedback loop. Gratitude heightens awareness of abundance, and abundance deepens the capacity for gratitude. Abundance and gratitude are also inseparable from generosity. When you embody these qualities, the energy naturally flows outward. You find yourself giving more freely, time, attention, kindness, resources, not because you are compelled by duty or guilt, but because the recognition of what you have inspires contribution. This outward flow reinforces the inward experience of abundance, creating a cycle in which giving enhances receiving, and noticing blessings enhances the ability to recognize further blessings. Embodying gratitude is not passive, it is active engagement with life's richness, expressed in tangible ways that strengthen connection, meaning, and purpose. Challenges and difficulties do not negate abundance. In fact, they often deepen it. A hardship, when approached from a place of gratitude, reveals hidden gifts, strength you did not know you possessed, lessons you would have otherwise overlooked, empathy that grows in response to adversity. To embody gratitude is to hold both joy and struggle in balance, recognizing that life's fullness is not determined by constant comfort, but by the totality of experience and the conscious acknowledgement of what is available in each moment. Gratitude reframes perception, allowing challenges to become part of the abundant flow of life rather than interruptions to it. Embodying gratitude also requires mindfulness of thought. The mind is prone to fixate on what is missing, what is wrong, or what has yet to be achieved. By redirecting attention toward what is present, what is good, and what is already available, you cultivate a mental habit that supports emotional resilience. Each morning, affirming the gifts that exist and recognizing the potential within and around you primes the mind for awareness, clarity, and peace. This conscious practice of recognition strengthens the neural pathways that favor gratitude, transforming perception over time. Finally, the embodiment of gratitude and abundance is an act of alignment. When your awareness, your heart, and your actions are united in appreciation and acknowledgement of life's richness, your energy shifts, the day unfolds with more ease, interactions feel deeper, and your presence resonates with the natural flow of opportunity. Life becomes less about striving for what is lacking and more about participating fully in what already exists. Every breath, every moment, and every encounter becomes an opportunity to notice abundance, to express gratitude, and to live from a place of fullness rather than scarcity. The words we speak carry immense power. They are not merely sounds or expressions, they are vibrations that shape our perception of reality, influence the energy around us, and determine how we interact with the world. Every morning, before the demands of the day pull at your attention, before the expectations of others press upon your mind, it is essential to recognize the potency of your own voice. To speak with intention and authority is not about dominating or controlling others, it is about aligning your speech with your inner truth, your values, and your purpose. It is the conscious practice of making your words deliberate, meaningful, and reflective of the person you aspire to be. Intention begins with awareness. Words spoken unconsciously often carry hidden energy, doubt, fear, frustration, or self-criticism. These words, even when soft or unspoken, shape the internal landscape of the mind and ripple outward into the world. When you speak without awareness, you reinforce patterns that may not serve you, projecting insecurities, negativity, or indecision into your day. Intention, however, requires pause, reflection, and alignment. It asks, do the words I am about to speak reflect my truth? Do they honor my presence and my power? Do they serve the life I wish to create? By asking these questions before speaking, you cultivate a voice that is grounded, clear, and authentic. Authority in speech is not rooted in volume or dominance. It is rooted in alignment and confidence. When you speak from authority, your words are inseparable from your presence. You do not need to convince others of your value. You embody it in every statement, every affirmation, every declaration. Authority arises when you recognize your own worth and act as though your perspective, your ideas, and your intentions carry significance simply because they originate from a conscious, present, and aligned being. Speaking with authority is the natural outcome of internal clarity and self-belief. It does not demand validation. It radiates conviction. Each morning, you can set the tone for your communication by choosing affirmations and statements that reinforce your inner alignment and purpose. Words such as "I am capable," "I am clear in my intention," "I honor my truth," or "I express myself with clarity and confidence" serve as anchors for the energy of your day. When spoken aloud, they vibrate through your body, reinforcing neural pathways that strengthen confidence, clarity, and presence. Even in silence, mentally repeating these statements primes the mind for deliberate expression. Over time, these practices cultivate a natural ease in communication, a presence that is compelling without force, persuasive without argument, and resonant without seeking approval. Speaking with intention also requires mindfulness of timing and delivery. Words spoken in haste, frustration, or distraction often carry unintended consequences. They may wound, miscommunicate, or create confusion. Authority is demonstrated not only in what is said, but in how it is said. Measured pauses, clear articulation, calm energy, and alignment between thought, emotion, and expression. The tone, pace, and energy behind your words reflect your inner state. When your mind is clear, your heart is aligned, and your purpose is acknowledged, your words naturally carry authority. People do not merely hear them, they feel them, sense them, and respond to the underlying presence that anchors your speech. Intentional speech also serves as a tool for self-alignment. What you say aloud reinforces the beliefs you hold within. If your words are fragmented, reactive, or inconsistent, they send mixed messages to your mind and body, creating internal dissonance. When you choose words deliberately, reflecting your highest values and your present truth, you create harmony between thought, speech, and action. Each word becomes a bridge between intention and reality, strengthening the alignment of your inner state with your outward life. Your morning declarations set the tone for this alignment, transforming not just the way others perceive you, but the way you experience yourself. Authority is further strengthened through responsibility. To speak with authority is to speak responsibly, recognizing that your words affect both yourself and those around you. It is not about controlling outcomes or manipulating perceptions. It is about honoring the power you wield in shaping experience. Every statement, affirmation, or communication carries energy that influences thought, behavior, and interaction. By speaking responsibly with awareness of the impact your words may have, you cultivate trust, clarity, and respect both internally and externally. Responsibility grounds authority, ensuring that it is not arrogance or force, but a reflection of conscious self-mastery. The practice of speaking with intention and authority is also a practice of courage. Fear often inhibits expression, fear of judgment, fear of being misunderstood, fear of rejection. Yet courage arises not from the absence of fear, but from the conscious choice to express truth despite it. Each morning, affirming your voice, your purpose, and your alignment strengthens this courage. By committing to speak deliberately, you reclaim ownership of your narrative and refuse to let doubt, distraction, or insecurity dictate your communication. This courage transforms not only your speech, but the way you move through every encounter, every challenge, and every interaction during the day. Embodying intention and authority also cultivates influence, not through coercion, but through resonance. When your words are aligned with your inner truth, they carry an energy that inspires, motivates, and moves others without force. Influence flows naturally from authenticity. People respond to presence more than persuasion. The deliberate use of language shapes environments, relationships, and opportunities in subtle but profound ways. Speaking with authority creates a rhythm in life where your intentions are mirrored by your actions and your energy is reflected in the world around you. Daily practice solidifies this power. Each morning, take time to breathe, to reflect, and to choose your words with care. Speak affirmations, intentions, or statements of purpose. Notice the energy of your voice, the alignment of your thoughts, and the resonance of your presence. Over time, the habit of intentional speech transforms how you navigate life, how others perceive you, and how you perceive yourself. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to reinforce alignment, express truth, and manifest influence grounded in presence, clarity, and authority.